Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission, as always, is pretty straightforward. Cut through the noise, get behind that curtain.
Which seems to get more carefully made every time we look.
Exactly. It's about understanding the engineering that shapes what people believe. We're looking for the design behind it all.
And finding the design often leads us straight to psychological operations. PSYOPs, we've called them Trojan horses for the mind before.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, because they're built to slip past your critical thinking. They subtly shift how you see things, often without you even noticing. It's about influence, really, not just giving information.
That Trojan horse idea is so crucial for getting your head around information warfare today. So that's the lens we're using rigorously on the latest stuff from the Expat American channel, Joseph Rose.
Right. This follows our previous deep dives into his work with Dmitry Orlov.
On that whole manufactured genocide claim.
Yes, and with Andrei Martyanov looking at the sort of strategic angle on this unprovoked aggression. Exactly. We've seen a playbook develop.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing now, well, it isn't just a one-off. It feels like an escalation.
So the idea today is to really peel back the layers on this latest content, because it takes this, frankly, chilling step of turning actual tragedy into engineered content designed to completely flip reality.
Okay, let's just jump right in because, honestly, the conclusion feels kind of unavoidable here.
Yeah, I get it now. It's like a double-layered PSYOP.
Totally. Two distinct layers working together.
So first you've got the fake story, the made-up version of events. That's layer one.
And then, boom, right underneath it, you get this coordinated storm in the comments, layer two. And its whole job is to cement this completely false idea that Russia is somehow the victim here.
It's amazing how fast that second layer kicks in, isn't it? The crowd effect.
Oh, yeah. Instantly. You're hit with, thousands of comments that look almost identical, all screaming about Ukrainian cruelty. That's not real empathy. That's coordination.
Right. You see the same things repeated.
Absolutely. Specific themes like Ukraine uses the children they haven't sold yet as meat shields, or just dismissing everything with, no one believes these stupid NATO false flags anymore. It's meant to overwhelm you, create this fake sense that everyone believes this.
Okay, so if layer two is the manufactured crowd noise, let's look back at layer one, the video itself.
The source material, so to speak.
Yeah. And this is where I think we need a bit of that surgical irony. Like, you almost want to ask Joseph directly, hey, Joseph, seriously, what made you think stitching together two totally unrelated things was a good idea?
Right.
You've got this fake Ukraine makes Russia look bad story, and then footage from your kid's birthday, Maxim's birthday, with the cake and the Lego fighter jet gift. What was the thinking there?
It's a technique, right? This weaponized normalcy. It's subtle, but it's really effective.
How so?
Well, notice he never actually shows the drone strike itself.
No, he doesn't.
Dealing with the reality of that. That's not the goal. Instead, he fills the space with emotional stuff, this sort of domestic warmth. The birthday party the family mentions, it's all there to humanize the lie he's selling. It's that first defense against you actually thinking critically about it.
So, Winthenized normalcy. What's the immediate psychological effect that's aiming for on someone watching?
It kind of creates a shortcut in your brain. You see these moments of, genuine family life, vulnerability.
That regard stuff.
Exactly. And you're subtly conditioned to kind of extend the trust you might feel for him in that moment.
Right.
Over to the political stuff he's saying right alongside it. It's designed to make you lower your guard.
So the barbarism he's defending feels more palatable.
Palatable, yeah. And crucially, it makes him seem trustworthy, like just an average guy, a loving father who happens to have stumbled onto this big secret truth. It's basically saying, hey, I'm a good dad, so you can trust what I'm telling you about this war crime.
And the core lie itself, what's the toxic payload he's trying to deliver with this technique?
Oh, the core claim is just. It's breathtaking how it twists reality. He basically says, Ukraine leaks info to Russia, so Russia hits a place.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and that Ukraine is doing this deliberately, sacrificing people under their care for propaganda, for, short-term political points. He turns documented aggression into some kind of cynical theater by the victim.
Framing it like that, the victims sacrificing their own, that goes way beyond just propaganda. That feels obscene.
It is.
Does he even try to justify the timing? Like, why would this happen now?
He does, actually. And surprise, surprise, it fits right into this bigger story they push. He claims these attacks are predictable. They happen, apparently, when Trump and Putin are going to meet.
To disrupt the peace plans, of course.
Naturally. It's the ultimate blame game. The victim becomes the manipulator, and the aggressor is just this poor, unwilling participant forced into reacting.
You know, we've definitely seen this playbook before if you connect the dots back to his other collaborations.
Orlov, Martyanov.
Yeah. It's the same formula every time, isn't it? There's an emotional trigger, like that genocide claim, then the manufactured outrage, and always, always that synthetic comment section. It really doesn't feel like someone just making videos. It feels scripted.
Absolutely. It's not a glitch, it's a design. This is exactly how PSYOPs work. They normalize aggression. They chip away at the victim's humanity through constant repetition.
And the language used.
Remember the language his collaborators used?
Yeah.
Martyanov calling young men a sperm bank. Orlov's line about rats in the rafters. It's all part of the strategy.
Yeah.
Lower the audience's moral defenses so they can swallow the impossible lie.
Okay, let's swing back to layer 2 then. The comments, you look at them. And the uniformity, the rhythm. It really is like digital puppetry.
That's a good term for it.
It's designed, clearly, to create this false consensus. Russia's the victim. Poor Russia. Evil Ukraine. Children used for propaganda. And you see these lines repeated almost word for word, like, Russians would never attack any civilian infrastructure, especially not a kindergarten.
That's the crowd simulation technique. It's emotional engineering, dressed up as organic empathy. They're not trying to have a discussion. They're manufacturing an environment. Social proof, right.
If you see thousands of comments saying the same thing.
Exactly. Your instinct is to doubt yourself, maybe align with what seems to be the consensus.
But it's the details in those comments that really give the game away, isn't it? They aren't just chanting slogans.
No, they're actively seeding these very specific counter-narratives designed to undermine the reality of what happened.
Like what?
Well, things like claiming the attack was allegedly at 3 a.m., implying no kids would be there. Or saying the drone hit the building across from the kindergarten, not the kindergarten itself.
Trying to create distance.
Right, and that the kids in the pictures look clean, dressed, and the like, suggesting they're actors, that it was staged. They're basically handing the viewer a checklist of reasons to disbelieve what they see.
So he thinks he's this independent voice exposing lies. But really, he's just demonstrating. What was that phrase? Loyalty without truth, conviction without thought. He's volunteering. He's doing the other side's information warfare for them.
And if you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, his whole persona, everything he produces, it fits perfectly into that Russian PSYOP model. Use, discard, replace.
How so?
His position, right.
Yeah.
An American sitting in Russia. Plus his work actively promoting relocation, trying to get other Americans to move there. That's gold. It slots right into projects like Welcome to Russia, aimed at attracting these so-called spiritual immigrants.
Why is that specific background, the American relocation promoter, so useful for the operation?
Because he is the testimonial. He's confirmation bias in human form for the target audience. Here's a Westerner physically there, validating the narrative through his presence and his output.
Demonstrating his alignment.
Publicly. And this constant stream of propaganda, well, it's likely exactly what's expected, maybe even required, for his own goals of getting aligned, getting citizenship perhaps. And then, once he served that purpose, validating the story from an apparent insider view, he becomes disposable, ready to be swapped out for the next person willing to demonstrate public loyalty.
Which brings us to the central irony here, and this is really for you, the listener, to grasp. He doesn't even seem to realize he's the content now.
Yeah.
He's become a living exhibit of the very manipulation he thinks he's exposing. We've talked before about the resources Russia pours into this stuff, over $500 million a year, right? To flip reality, turn war crimes into mysteries, make useful people doubt the actual world.
And the irony is just devastating. He's being used essentially for free. And eventually, when his usefulness fades, he'll likely be left with nothing.
Loyalty without truth.
Conviction without thought. His defense of these acts, claiming Ukraine staged it to make Russia look bad. I mean, it's the ultimate laundering of a war crime. Analytically, it's clear. Defending the indefensible always comes down to blaming the victim. It's classic propaganda 101, and it's morally rotten.
So, okay, what's the takeaway here for someone just trying to navigate this stuff every day? How do you shield yourself?
You have to learn to spot the formula. Remember what we saw here. Fake story.
Plus fake crowd.
Generating fake compassion.
Right. All serving one very real goal: to excuse an act of aggression. If you see that formula, alarm bells should ring.
Which brings us to a final thought, maybe. Joseph's situation is really a public lesson in what happens when conviction completely overrides inquiry.
And sadly,
Joseph himself probably won't grasp the full reality of his position, his choices, until maybe that ban notice finally lands on his channel.
And by then?
By then, the strategic gears will have shifted. Even the bots will have probably moved on to the next useful phase.
So the real question for all of us, outside of these specific loops, is how do we build that internal, that digital resilience? How do we make sure our own minds stay, our own, free from that subtle guidance, those invisible strings?
It's constant vigilance, isn't it? Essential vigilance.